get something.
Brew, I know we have a lot of loyal viewers.
Yeah.
But just for any new viewers or someone that's been out of town, can you explain the origins of the question, Brew, do you expect the Dolphins to fight or break dance?
I can't. Who was the team they lost to? When I said after
Buffalo.
they said it was early, Buffalo beat them 48-20.
Yeah.
And I said, in all seriousness,
Yes, of course.
the Dolphins are the type of team that when there's beef, when we got to settle something, they want to break dance, right? They don't want to fight. They want to pop.
They don't want. I think what you said was they don't want to knuckle up.
Yeah, they don't want to knuckle up. The Ravens, the Cowboys to a certain degree, the Niners, the whole AFC North, maybe outside of Cincinnati, they want to knuckle up. And I said the Dolphins want to break dance.
Yes.
And I firmly believe that. Now, they have gotten tougher. It's not just Jalen Ramsey, but since he's been back, the defense has been much better. They're like, top 3 in the league in sacks or something, top 4, something like that. And so they are playing a tougher brand of football. And I do think they want to fight. They're going to be ready to fight, but they're stepping up in class. I mean, they're stepping up in class, and I think the Ravens are going to have something for them. So I don't think it's going to be a demolition, but I think the Ravens are going to beat them pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they'll break dance. I'm done with them being that team that we look at that's all, pre-snap, window dressing, and fun to look at because of all the motion and formation variation. This team actually, they play very well. Like what Mike McDaniel said is they stop the run and they run the ball very well. And they have an advantage that the 49ers didn't have. Like, he plays a similar style of football offensively that the 49ers do. And so they have another week to make those adjustments that the 49ers couldn't adjust to during the game. I think they give up a good fight or put up a good fight. I don't see them winning this game. I will not be shocked if it's a good fight.
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate for Miami that they get Baltimore right after Baltimore played San Francisco.
Really?
Now, normally, that actually works. It would work in Miami's favor. Like last year, every team lost the week after playing the Niners because the Niners beat them up.
On it.
But this wasn't a game where the Niners beat up the Ravens, but it is a game where the Ravens defense got a look at the Shanahan system a week before having to play a Shanahan protege. And I understand it's not like they're running the exact same stuff,
but
similar concepts, and a lot of the base stuff is similar. Yep. So I think that works in Baltimore's favor. I also do think Miami's defense, since Jalen came back, is a touch overrated. Because the quarterbacks they have faced since the Chiefs game in Germany. So think about how long ago that feels like it was. That was week 8 or week 9. It was the 8th game of the year. Aiden O'Connell, Tim Boyle, Sam Howell, Will Levis, who cooked in that game, Zach Wilson, and Dak, Dak's the one really good quarterback they played, and he wasn't great in that game, but he was good, and he had the drive at the end. So I think Miami's defense is good, but not great, and they are now facing a great quarterback, obviously. But the oddest part to me about this game is, if the Ravens win this game, they lock up the 1 seed. If the Dolphins win this game, they have the inside track to the 1 seed. They just have to win their final game of the year. But the loser of this game could very likely end up being the 5 seed. Yeah. So like the 1 seed is available to be had for the winner, and the loser is going to be holding on for dear life not to fall all the way to the 5 line. So it is, for 2 teams that have locked up playoff appearances, this is a wildly important game. The difference between having the inside track to a bye-in home field and having to play on the road the whole postseason.
And Miami's not great on the road.
Correct.
So that's a whole nother.
Greg, quickly, you talked about a schematic advantage the Ravens might have from seeing a Shanahan offense last week and going to see another Shanahan branch of the tree. Are you worried at all about the Ravens went into 49ers as big underdogs, came out of it Super Bowl favorites? I mean, they're number 2, but like it's all of a sudden they're like the hot thing. Are you worried at all about an emotional letdown from the Ravens?
I'm not. There's too much riding on the line. Like, this team because of Lamar Jackson, his sights are set on nothing but Super Bowl. Like, and so when he fixates his mind on that, that's all they're going to look at. And when you hear a guy like Patrick Queen make that type of a statement and say, look, this is the brand of football that we play, that means whenever, wherever there is green grass, lines, and a referee. We can have them. We don't need them. But we're going to bring our brand of football.
Yeah, most of your timekeeping. Baltimore over, under, or perfectly rated?
A touch overrated. And I'm going to say something here that it pains me to say because we think of these players so differently. Their approval ratings are so different. The respect we have for them and how they go about their business is so different. But objectively, it's true. Lamar's probably going to win the MVP this year. If Lamar goes into this postseason and the Ravens lose their first game.
Dak.
No.
Worse.
James Harden.
Ah.
Brew, you wince, and you do that because Harden is such like, I don't want to say pariah, but so much of the Harden stuff it feels like is almost non-basketball and those things. But unbelievable, unique, one-of-one regular season talent. Never quite seen a guy play the way he does. Won an MVP, came close to winning a bunch of others in Harden's case. For Lamar's case, we have two of them. Here's right now, as of this moment, show Lamar's playoff numbers. Lamar's playoff resume is terrible. Not a single game with a passer rating in the 80s or above. There's the one win he got came over Ryan Tannehill, and that game he was great with his legs. It was, so again, Brew, if he wins the MVP and they lose their first playoff game and he plays poorly, then that is going to be the narrative on him, and I don't think that is like a 1 in 10 shot that happens. I think that is on the board, so I think they're a little overrated.
Why I don't like the Harden comparison. I think Harden melts down. Harden, like in the biggest games, like Game 6 or whatever, that's when he has all these turnovers or only takes 11 shots or misses, 80% of his shots or whatever it may be. Lamar, I think, has been solved in the playoffs. I don't think he's like melted down like the moment's too big. Early, obviously, in his career, it was like he can't really throw the football that well, and he doesn't have great receivers. So I just think you're right in that it would be great regular season accolades, poor playoff ones, but that was true of Peyton Manning earlier in his career too. So I just think that it's different reasons. Now, I think they're perfectly rated because I think I don't know how you make an argument for any other team to be at the top of the AFC. I mean, they got the best record in the league. They got the best defense in the league. They've got the MVP front runner. They've got 9 wins over winning teams. Like, they've got the best resume. And yet, maybe you're an example of it. No one is saying they're world beaters.
Correct.
No one is like San Francisco was a week ago. Yeah. Everybody was like, it's a done deal. They win it. Nobody's like that on the Ravens. No. So I think they're actually perfectly rated, favored in the AFC, could win it all, but nobody's like giving it to them yet.
Yeah, I personally, from the onset of the season, had them underrated. I still think that they are underrated because of what you just said. Nobody thinks that they're world beaters, and they have passed almost every test that has been put in front of them. And you talk about, Nick, when you look at Lamar, you put those numbers up in the postseason. What I will say is he is more ready-made for this postseason to have to throw or play from behind than he has ever been in his career.
Than his MVP year?
He's
absolutely.
a better passer,
absolutely.
I think now.
When the game that told me Lamar Jackson is ready and is going to be different this year in the postseason was the Rams game. When they were down and they needed him to throw the ball, convert third and longs.
He was great in that game.
He was absolutely phenomenal and flawless. Lamar Jackson will be.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.